There are tons of stories out there about hacked Pokemon games. Some of them really quite neat, such as the one about a version where you get a ghost as a starter. Some are ridiculous, silly stories about individuals dying after playing a game, or the game talking to them. God, don't these writers know less is more when it comes to these stories? Ah, well, I digress. I grew interested in these hacked games that are apparently in any thrift store, on eBay, or handed out by homeless people to random passersby. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting these creepy people. I merely found this particular cartridge in a trash bin when the garbage truck backed into my neighbor's dumpster. I noticed the game and asked the trash can if I could take it, and he didn't seem to mind. It was thrown away after all. I, of course, checked with my neighbor to confirm they actually didn't want it, though they seemed perplexed as if they'd never seen it in their life. Their son made a grab for it. A little boy saw the Charizard on the cover, crying out, "Pokemon, I want Mommy!" But his mother told him no, seeing as I found it. He didn't even have a Game Boy anyway. He just liked Pokemon. Thinking nothing more, I simply head home, looking at the cartridge sticker on the way. Just a plain old red version. The sticker torn slightly across the Charizard's neck. But that was expected with such an old game. I had blue version as a kid, so I was a bit eager to see the albeit minimum differences red version had. I was rather disappointed by what I saw when the title screen showed up. Pokemon Strangled red version. Well, damn it was a hack. Hacks were neat and all, but they had zero monetary value. The original is quite valuable by now, and I wanted to play red anyway. Not this crap. Oh well, it was free. Might as well try it. The name was odd, however. Strangled red? That made no sense. Not even in a morbid description of someone being asphyxiated as people turn blue when choking, not red. Who knows? Maybe there was a pair of these hacks and I just got the red one. The more I thought about this, though, the more interested I became. My initial disappointment turned to curiosity. I wanted to know what the creator had made, and I was going to know everything I saw. The first oddity I noticed was the start screen had Charizard next to Trainer instead of Charmander. Also, the Pokemon never cycled through like the original versions did. It just stayed Charizard, even after 5 minutes of waiting. Shrugging, I hit start, and noticing there was no Charizard cry as I did, like there was supposed to be. I saw there was a continue option, so I figured I'd do what everyone did with used games and see what the previous owner had done. No. I blinked in surprise. No? What do you mean, no? The game wouldn't let me continue no matter what, though on the fourth attempt I heard the Charizard cry, quiet and barely audible. But there. Shrugging it off, I decided to just hit new game, like I would have done after checking the old file anyway. The screen cut to black for a while. No Professor Oak, no starting theme, just nothing at all. Eventually the screen came back, showing a bedroom, 2 beds, 2 TVs, and a computer in the corner. My trainer sprite was the usual one, consistent with the original red version. I was curious as to why it didn't ask my name, though that was answered as I opened the pause menu, noticing my trainer was named Steven. No, this isn't my real name, some stupid crap like that. This game isn't self-aware or haunted. At least up I know of, it just had a name chosen already. Curious, I saw he had the starter amount of money, no badges. He didn't look like a Red, though. His header was longer, almost reaching halfway down his back. Red's usual smile replaced with a confident smirk. Honestly, I found the sprite much cooler than Red. Next, I checked out his Pokemon, a single Charmander, level 5, named Miki. Nothing was on about it, or should I say her, with the name and all. She had beginning Charmander stats, only knew Scratch and Tail Whip, basic stuff. The game seemed relatively normal. Returning to the game, I walked about the room. Noticing Steven's long hair was present on the back of my trainer sprite when my back was turned to the camera. I didn't recognize the house, but I descended the stairs to see more. Downstairs was another trainer who spoke to me the instant I came down. Ready yet? Yeah. I assumed this Mike was my rival, pre-decided for me. A replacement of Blue, most likely. Though I thought back at the bedroom and having 2 beds, realizing they weren't just rivals, they were brothers. They talk back and forth, basic Pokemon dialogue, become a Pokemon master, catch 'em all, stuff like that. Before having a little argument for which is better, Charmander or Squirtle, which of course led to the introduction battle, like the one versus Blue in the lab. Simple enough, scratch, tackle, till I won purely for having the first turn. I took note of how much better Steven's sprite looked in combat than Red's. Different pose, his hair looking like it was blowing in the wind. A brief, minor upgrade, but still much nicer. I left the house after some more banter with my brother. Stepping out to the Pallet Town theme, going to the east, I found this was indeed Pallet Town. The house was simply on the outskirts to the west. I noted there was no mysterious grassy field like in normal Pallet Town. Wandering about, I decided to check in on Red's home. His mother was inside, and when I talked to her, she commented about how handsome Stephen looked, hoping her son would look up to him as a role model for when he became a trainer himself next day. Which, of course, led me to realize this game took place a year before the original Pokemon. Red was even upstairs, playing the Super Nintendo in his room, commenting, "I'm gonna be the best too, and it's my turn." I was starting to like this hack. It was interesting, a completely new adventure, a different character. Hell, Steven even seemed to have a history with the people in his town, a reputation, a personality beyond a silent protagonist. The people in town talked to him as a person, making conversation, not this spouting tutorial crap. Even Blue's sister had new dialogue. They seemed to be in a relationship, too. As the dialogue ended with a kiss and a heart over her head. Professor Oak simply wished me well, giving me a Pokedex to aid my adventure. He wasn't giving it to me to be the reason behind the adventure, like every other Pokemon game out there. He gave it to me out of kindness, something to help me on my way, a gift. I was liking this more and more with each second. The game seemed to have an actual story now. I was somebody, not just a cookie-cutter protagonist anyone could be. That's a blank sheet that could be replaced without notice. The story was different, though the actual gameplay remained unchanged. I went north like I was supposed to, went from town to town, collected badges, received the praise of the leaders. Steven's fame even seemed to spread, as some NPCs would talk like they knew him. I used Miki for every battle. She was growing surprisingly fast. She handled Brock with ease, and even pounded Misty with no trouble at all. She wasn't as adversely affected by super effective attacks as others, did more damage than a regular Charmander. She was a veritable powerhouse. She even became a Charizard at the mirror level of 25. Not bad at all, I must say. Things started to get really weird, though, as I reached Lavender Town. I know. Lavender Town's a focus by every creepy story and the like, but it was the only place that was noticeably different. There was no Team Rocket invasion, which I found odd, though I did remember this was a year in the past, so the invasion wouldn't occur until Red's time. I tried to enter Pokemon Tower, aiming to get a Ghastly, but that's when it got odd. I have no reason to be here. Steven wouldn't go into Pokemon Tower no matter what I did. This was weird. I mean, hell, there are a million places in Kanto you really have no need to be. Little random houses, with nothing but children NPCs, for example. Why was it here that Steven wouldn't enter? With a shrug, I figured I wouldn't need a Ghastly, seeing as Miki could handle anything, so I simply went on my way. Lavender Town serving no purpose other than a passageway to the Pokemon Center. The game progressed normally from there. The remaining gyms fell, and eventually I made my way to the Elite Four and defeated them. As with Blue, my brother Mike was there before me, initiating the championship battle, which Miki swept with ease. The aftermath of the battle was quite pleasant. None of the tension that was present between Red and Blue at the end of their match. The brothers congratulated each other on their progress and shook hands before the screen went white. No Hall of Fame, no any credits. When the screen came back, it was at the house again. The two brothers sitting at the computer, conversing with each other. I don't want to. Come on, I just gotta borrow her for a second to finish the Pokedex. The entry won't register unless she recognizes me as a master for just a second. But she's my Miki. I promise I'll give her back. Come on, please. Yes? No? I was a bit perplexed, so I hit no to be cautious. Come on, please! No. Come on, please! I realized it would simply continue to loop until I hit yes, so I did. Just to see what would happen. Alright, this will take just a sec. Then we'll both be Pokemon Masters. The screen changed to the animation shown when two people trade Pokemon, which I found a bit weird, seeing as I was solo. But whatever. This was what was apparently supposed to happen. Mickey went first. I watched lazily as she began to travel down the train tube. That made me jump. The sudden noise resonated from my silent bedroom, loud due to the volume being way up. Looking at the screen, I noticed the game had seemed to freeze. Mickey's still in mid-trade, but the game wasn't doing anything. With a sigh, I just turned off the game, wondering when my last save was. When the game turned back on, I stared for a moment at the start screen. There was no Charizard next to Trainer. Upon pressing start, I saw the new game option was absent. It would only continue. This was strange, to say the least, so I selected it. The game starting without even showing my stats as usual. My jaw dropped at what I was greeted with. 1 year later. The Lavender Town theme came first, playing its normal way. The screen slowly fading in from blackness. Steven was in the Pokemon Tower, which made the music even stranger, seeing as the tower had its own theme. He was standing in front of a tombstone, not doing anything, wondering what was going on. I pressed A. Confused, I tried walking, realizing I was indeed in control at the moment. I brought up the pause menu and checked my party. Mickey was gone. Not just Mickey, all Pokemon. He had nothing. The Pokedex was absent from the menu. His bag was empty. Honestly concerned now, I checked his trainer card. He had no money. He had no badges. His playtime was 8,795 hours. Which was impossible, as I had only 30 logged in before. But that wasn't the strangest part. His picture, the picture of the handsome, confident young trainer, was different. His eyes were blank, his face turned slightly down, that smirk of his was gone, replaced by a lack of any expression at all. That long hair of his, before in a perfect perm, was now messy and unkempt. I couldn't look at him anymore. Closing the menu, I went to move out of the tower, but with every step I took away from the tombstone, the screen flickered, like it did when a Pokemon was poisoned. Gulping, I brought up the trainer card again. His picture was getting worse. Every step I took, he hung his head more and more. His shoulders slumped. He bent over. By the time I exited the tower, he was on his knees, hands to his face, hair draped across him. I'd guessed already what was going on, but this clinched it. I began to put some things together in my mind. I had always wondered why there was no champion in the original games besides your rival. Why is it you, the protagonist, had to beat your rival when he just waltzed in? No previous champion to challenge. Then, it struck me. The answer was right there. The previous champion gave up. His precious Mickey was apparently dead. And with her, so died part of him. His Pokedex, the other Pokemon, his badges, his fame, all of it. He threw it all away. And that year, the year that I missed, the year where all those hours came from, I even did the math. There was 8,765 hours in a year. Add that to my 30 from before, and it matched up. Even so, the game kept going. This should have been an ending, I thought. I mean, what else is there to do? I had no Pokedex, no Pokemon, not anything. What was I supposed to be doing? I talked to everyone in town, but they all said similar things. Are you okay? Still mourning, I see. Everything will be all right. Please, is there anything we can do? Stephen never replied to them. They all simply said the same things over and over. I couldn't put the game down now. This is all so strange. Curious, I headed off into the tall grass and eventually got into a battle with the Rattata. No Pokemon was sent out, just Stephen's sprite. I was wondering how I'd battle. Wild Rattata left you be. The battle ended without anything happening. This is certainly interesting. It happened with every Pokemon I encountered. Wild Pidgey ignored you. Wild Ponyta wandered off. The music never changed either. No matter where I went, Lavender Town came to the speakers, following me, sometimes slowed down slightly, sometimes not. I searched everywhere, every town, talked to everybody, wondering just what the hell I needed to do.